Hey, I already told you in the comments that when it comes to Satan versus Trump, I might have to hear Satan out real quick. Now, I'm being a bit, that's a little bit of hyperbole. But I have a question for you. If someone was trying to peddle a false narrative and said person was claiming that there was genocide happening in South Africa, but they instead took pictures of a real genocide happening in the Congos and tried to misrepresent that as South Africa and deceive the people. Is that the work of Satan or is that the work of Trump? Well, what do you know? It's the work of Donald Trump. Now, maybe it was his advisors. Maybe this guy is just typically what he really is, right? He doesn't pay attention to stuff. They feed him false information. He takes it at face value. Or maybe he is outright that devious as Satan himself. Now, let's move on. Now that I've disproved some of this stuff, I know what's happening here. This administration is taking the plight, right, of white South African, a fringe group of white South African farmers who it looks like they're going to have to, I guess, acquiesce to the request of majority South African population who wants to talk about land equality, who wants to talk about moving on to a more equal South Africa, right? And they're taking their plight and mixing it up with the also false narrative that they've created here with things like DEI. So let me explain that a little more in simpler terms. The domestic plight here is there's the MAGA people who are in power, because you're in power. You're the president of the United States. You're still the majority population as far as white people are concerned. But they've demonized DEI and they've made themselves at the same time the victim. And they've created this narrative that the white population is under attack, DEI is ruining it, things are not based on merit, and they've created a world in which I guess straight white men aren't getting their just due. And they've taken this South African issue and they've merged it into one to show that their gender is validated on an international playing field as well. All right. That's what's happening here. I peep game. It's unfortunate that some people won't, I guess, like the MAGA supporters that can't see it. And it's unfortunate that the president of South Africa, I think, tried to come here in good faith and kiss ass. He was showing Trump some golf club book, whatever that they have for him, because it's also misrepresenting their country. It's also misrepresenting the continent of Africa. So at my core, y'all know how I feel about dude. Barack Obama has shaken hands with these guys. But for me, at my core, I know that you launch your campaign off the birth of shit. That's very telling to me.